Hey everyone, this is Hell Hades. This is my channel Addicted to Gaming, and this is another Raid Shadow Legends video. So today I'd like to show you a really great synergy in this game. So I'm going to show you two champions. Prince Kymar, really good legendary, lot of utility, great support, and Royal Guard. Probably my favourite epic in the game. Really good fun. Lots of utility as well, and just can kick out crazy damage. So if I show you the way I've set these two guys up first, and then I'll talk about why they work so well together. So I'm lucky, I've got two Royal Guards, and what's better than one Royal Guard? A second Royal Guard for the type of video I'm going to show you here. So both of these I've tried to do basically the same thing. Um, I've got some good set synergies here. The other Royal Guard's probably got better set synergies, but it's actually not what I'm looking for. So all I'm looking to do with Royal Guard is to get to a reasonable level of speed, and by reasonable I mean around 180, and I'll show you why once we get into some of the fights. I need to get as close to 100% crit rate as I can, albeit for the spider fight actually 75 is enough. And after that it's just ploughing in as much crit damage as I can get. So I've got some really nice spiky numbers here, 295% crit, with a decent amount of attack, 3860. But I do need them to be able to take a hit, so I probably could push some of these numbers a little bit more, but they would just die too often. So my second Royal Guard, it's a similar sort of build really. So 92% crit rate, 316% crit damage. I just love seeing this one go off. And then we've got 3.3k attack. Similar again, enough health and enough defense just to keep them alive. Just over 180 on speed. Um, the whole point of this composition is to make the Royal Guards slightly faster than Prince Kymar. So the Royal Guards have got a skill which is called Takedown. So basically attacks all enemies, so it will clear out a whole wave. And the damage is all based on max HP. So the further you are into dungeons, so if you're on level 20 content, this starts to do really great damage to waves, and even more damage to bosses. So really great ability, good fun to use. He's also got some other utility, so it does have a defense down on his A1, and he has a decreased speed on his A3, but that's not what he's in there for, albeit these abilities hit pretty hard as well. So Kymar, what Kymar can do, and if you see here my speed, yeah, 176, so about 5 speed less than the Royal Guards. I want him to be slower so that he can go in after the Royal Guards have used their abilities and use this. Seal of Magic. So this is his A3, and it's really it's a standout ability for this champion. There's abilities that have got the option to reduce the cooldown by 1 turn. Kymar can reduce any skill by its full turn meter. So basically, that A2 from the Royal Guard will be completely reset once he uses this ability. And on auto, Kymar will use this as his first ability. So if I was to put Kymar as my fastest champ, he would use this ability before anyone had anything on cooldown, and it'd be a complete waste, which is why I need him to be slower. His other stats in his gear is actually pretty poor, really. He's only there for that kind of reset. I want him to stay alive. I want him to have enough accuracy to use this ability, Abyssal Gaze, so he can remove debuffs off of people in something like Faction Wars. But for the fights I'm going to show you, it's all about this Seal of Magic. So let's get into a fight. This is really a comp that's just set up for fun, but mainly to attack the dungeons. So I'm going to show you through a couple of different dungeons and why it's so strong. So let's actually start with the one that's the most relevant now, because we've got a spider tournament going on at the time that I'm doing this. Spider notoriously is the most difficult dungeon to clear, and it took me a lot of work to be able to clear it on auto. What I've then done, and I've done it with a number of different comps, but what I've now done is got this on a real quick speed farm, and I'll show you how. So Again, it's a bit champ specific, but ultimately um, you just need for somebody to go before you need for somebody to go before the Royal Guards and lay a decreased defense. So I've got here Ghostborn that does that. Ghostborn also gives me an increased attack. So I've got an aura from Royal Guard, increase attack. Ghostborn then increases my attack again and reduces the defense of the spiders. And then these two guys just come in and absolutely pulverize, you'll see. So here we go. So it's on auto, I don't need to do anything with this comp. Um, and I can farm it really quickly. So here we go, decreased defense right across the board and on the boss. Zardalo is actually just a fill-in. I normally have someone with a weaken there, but it wasn't available. 2 hits to half health. Kymar resets everybody. We're quick enough so that none of these spiders get a turn. Decreased defense goes on again. Zardala swans in, and then here comes the nukes. 1, 2, good night. 100% accuracy in terms of I always get 30 to 34 seconds. It never falls into a point where the spider gets a turn. Really good fun comp. So let me show you now how that same type of setup works in Dragon. So Dragon, I've got the 2 Royal Guards, I've got my Kymar, I've got my Zargala, and actually I've got Bad Owl in here just for when I get to the actual Dragon fight and it gets a bit hairy with some damage coming back at me. So same idea here. In this instance, I've got Bad Owl places the poison, which makes me do more damage. We've then got Zargala puts the decreased defense on, and then my Royal Guards come in and smash them. You'll see it just leaves enough health alive for the last guy so that Kymar gets his reset, and then we go again, wave 2. Now, these waves are pretty tricky. If they do start to come at you with hits, they can easily kill any of these guys. But we'll just finish these off here and move on to the dragon. This is I guess the longest part of the fight. I'm reliant on a bit of RNG as to whether I get weakens, whether I get defense downs on early enough. So sometimes this part of the fight can last 30 seconds into sort of just over a minute. I've done it in under a minute just about before, but it's all about a bit of an RNG. So sometimes I get stunned here, not this time, that's good. Weaken's gone on early, which is good. And then here we go again. Big swings, most of the health is gone, and it's just, let's finish them off for the last little bit of health. So what's that, just over a minute, and it's normally, as I say, between a minute and about 1 minute 20, but really consistent. And it's just about speed tuning these guys so that they do enough damage to clear waves, and Kymar gets in just in time to reset the abilities. It works as well. These are quite easy dungeons anyway, I guess, but it works as well in places like the keeps. So if I throw in my Royal Guards and Kymar. These are a bit easier anyway, so we'll probably just actually blow through these, but the idea is I've got people that can just do the defense down and then nuke. Yeah, it's so quick, it's crazy. But if we're on these sort of fusion events and you need to farm a lot of pots, then this just makes it so quick. You'll see here it's going to be around 30 seconds, I guess, maybe a little bit less. And there we go, what's that, 25 seconds, so really quick. And then the same idea as well with Arcane. 2 Royal Guards, Royal Guard at the lead for the attack. Got my defense downs and I've got my Kymar in there. So, I mean, I've got a strong roster. I'll say it a few times. I've got a strong roster, but I still use Royal Guard ahead of a lot of my legendary champions in a lot of dungeons. I take them into Ice Golems. I take one into Ice Golems because actually the amount of damage they can do can just wipe your team. I've done it before. I've taken them both in and I've got away with it, but it's a really unstable team. But there you go. What's that? 23 seconds and clear. So yeah, really, really fun. Just quickly show you their masteries before I wrap up the video. So I know that some people have actually gone for Helm Smasher on this champ, and they've said they've had good results. Basically, what I've done is I've picked the lines which give me the best possible results in terms of damage. So crit rate, crit damage, and then anything really which is going to make me do more damage when either the opponent's on high health or low health. So increased damage when opponent's got more max HP. Well, pretty much everyone has at level 20 dungeons. This is quite interesting actually. So increased damage which stacks through each round for any enemy you kill. So if you think about that spider fight, when I did the first attack, I'd have been hitting for about 1.5, 1.6 million. When I do the second attack, it hits for more like 1.8, 1.9 because of that ability. This is a good one as well. First time you attack somebody, increased by 8, and then I come down here for the, the extra 20% crit damage, which is where I'm getting those crazy numbers from. I've got this built as well just so that I get more chance to lay his decreased defense. You really could go a lot of ways with the second set of masteries. It's not that important. This is quite a useful one for things like faction wars. So it actually reduces the turn meter with single target attacks. It's actually a really underrated skill. It's an amazing skill, especially with someone that's got a single target attack, because you actually reduce by 20%, whereas an AoE A1 would reduce by 5%. And then I'll show you the same sort of thing on Kymar. So Kymar is actually set up as I'd say it's a pretty standard offense support tree, trying to maximize accuracy. I've got him on War Master because actually just a lot of these fights where he needs to hit, it tends to be on the boss, and on the bosses they do have high HP, so the War Master procs actually do a good amount of damage, more damage than the rest of his kit combined really, so that's really useful. So look, I hope you've enjoyed that. For me, it's one of the most fun combos that I've found in the game. Um, it's all about the setup, so it's about having someone that already lays your defense down for you, which is where someone like a Ghost Spawn comes in really well. As soon as defense down is on, Royal Guards will do their nuke. If defense down is not on, they'll continuously try and do this A1 attack, so bear that in mind. Hope you enjoyed that. This is Hell Hades. It's my channel Addicted to Gaming. Until next time, see you soon.